fight like a roaring fight, quick during dreams under stadium lights, sweat and fire, hearts ignite. Evening sports buffet, with the Ginch replay. Highlights, wild scores collide, it's the riot live tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Tuesday. Breaking news, not breaking anymore. And we're welcome to another edition of Early Evening Sports with Ginch. Excuse me, I'm the Ginch, the host. I'm still able to figure out why it's still a little bit odd. Thanks to the Ginch Quartet there. But again, welcome. Thanks for joining. Excuse me. Coming up at 6:30, former St. Joe's coach, basketball, Phil Martelli. I will pick his brain about college basketball. I'm just trying to get back caught up on college basketball. So I'll pick his brain about certain Let's try this. There we go. Again, I'll say this again. Anybody that's watched my shows, like a couple weeks ago, my laptop took a dump. It is under warranty. I'm on my little Verizon pad here. But anybody who watches these shows that I do knows that technology just has a way of shoving a red hot poker up my ass. But anyway, thanks for tuning in. Let's just get to the big news of the day. Mike Tomlin is stepping down as Steelers coach, ending his 19-year run. The only coaches for the Pittsburgh Steelers that I've ever known are Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, and Mike Tomlin. Basically what this is telling me, although it'll probably be kept in-house, is after last night's loss, probably spoke with Tomlin in the morning, and they said, you know, you've earned the right to just step down. If you don't step down, we're going to let you go. This is reported by Pryor ESPN. It is stated here that Tomlin is not expected to coach elsewhere in 2026. Supposedly. Tomlin said in a statement that he decided to step down after much thought and reflection. Quote unquote, this organization has been a huge part of my life for many years and it has been an absolute honor to lead this team. I am deeply grateful to Art Rooney II and the late Ambassador Rooney for their trust and support. I am also thankful to the players who gave everything they had every day and to the coaches and staff whose commitment and dedication made this journey so meaningful. I want to also thank Steelers Nation. Your passion, loyalty, and high expectations represent what makes this franchise truly special. Coaching in Pittsburgh is unlike anywhere else, and I will always take great pride in having been a steward of this team. So, the Mike Tomlin era is over. Steelers president Art Rooney II said, during our meeting today, Coach Tomlin informed me that he has decided to step down as our head coach. Obviously, I am extremely grateful to Mike for all the hard work, dedication, and success we have shared over the last 19 years. He never had a losing season. So we will have to see what happens from here on out. I don't know what's going to happen. Obviously led to Pittsburgh to 2 Super Bowls. One he won, one he lost. I don't know who Pittsburgh would go after. I would think that they want to bring in an offensive-minded coach. But they'll probably bring in a defensive-minded coach and hire a top-notch offensive coordinator. But I said on Steel City Renegades earlier today with the boys over there. This organization really needs to take a step back and look themselves in the mirror and say, what are we going to do at the quarterback position now and for the future? Because whatever they've done since Ben has left has not worked. And what is Steelers football? What has it been over the years? Play fantastic defense, run the ball, grind your opponent to death. And that's what it's been. And maybe the organization needs a new direction as far as offensive mindedness. Again, I'm not surprised, but it was 19 years. So, but look, they've lost 7 straight playoff games, and it's time for a new voice. So, if he wanted to step down, he wants to step down. I don't expect him to coach in 2026. I think he'll take a year to enjoy his time off, and probably during the season next year, the juices will start to get flowing again. Maybe he just walks away. I don't know. But whoever they bring in, look, the Steelers for a season or two, they might have to bite the bullet and just have losing seasons until they can put together a roster that is worthy of whoever they bring in as the next head coach. So we'll see. Baseball news. Outfielder Kyle Tucker fielding offers from the Mets and Blue Jays. This is reported by ESPN. He's been offered a short-term deal by the Mets that is believed to be worth $50 million per season. He declined a $22.025 million qualifying offer by the Cubs following the season. Sources told ESPN that the Toronto Blue Jays have also made a long-term offer to Tucker, who's one of the best left-handed hitters in the league. $50 million a year. Have to keep an eye on that, see where he might go. Reported by Mark Schlabach, Espen. Live Golf League captains Bryson DeChambeau, Cameron Smith, and John Rahm said Tuesday they're not planning to follow Brooks Koepka back to the PGA Tour. DeChambeau said he had no idea that would happen, that Brooks was leaving. No ideas what the penalties will even be right now. I've got a contract. I'm looking forward to seeing what we can do at Live Golf this year. John Rahm said, I'm not planning on going anywhere. Very similar answer to what Bryson gave. I wish Brooks the best. As far as I'm concerned, I'm focused on the league and my team this year, and hopefully we can repeat as champions again. Yada, yada, yada. Again, Live Golf, PGA, Live Golf, PGA. It'll be another back and forth year there. Ladies and gentlemen, Marcus Freeman's not going anywhere. He's got it made in Notre Dame. So Giants, Steelers, whoever comes calling, he's not going anywhere. He's going to stay put. And believe me, he wants to rectify what happened this year, being left out of the college football playoff. So that's probably high on his priority list. The Eagles are making a change as far as offensive coordinator. Now, it doesn't say that Petullo was fired. It just says they're making a change. Take that what you may. Tim McManus reporting for ESPN. Coach Nick Sirianni said, I've decided to make a change at offensive coordinator. Hold on. Comment. Robish reports, coming here, get my sports update. Love the Ginch. Yes, Mr. Anthony Robish. Thanks for tuning in. Glad you can tune in. But Nick Sirianni said, I've decided to make a change at offensive coordinator. Met with Kevin today to discuss the difficult decision, as he is a great coach who has my utmost respect. He's been integral to this team's success over the last 5 years, not only to the on-field product, but behind the scenes as a valued leader for our players and organization. I have no doubt he will continue to have a successful coaching career. Excuse me. Ultimately, when we fall short of our goals, that responsibility lies on shoulders. Anthony Rober says, but we know Patullo is out. Yes, Patullo is out as the offensive coordinator. Yes, he could still remain on the staff, but as offensive coordinator, he is gone. And I'll say this about the Eagles situation. At what point do we put some onus on the players too? Patullo wasn't out there dropping balls. Patullo wasn't out there missing extra points. Yes, sometimes your offense will get stagnant. I thought it was a big mistake not to revert back to what they did successfully last year, running the football. It was sort of helter-skelter this year. But it's not all on the coaches, man. It's not all on the coaches. Sometimes the players have to take ownership of what they do. And look, I've said this before, the Eagles look flat. They weren't focused. You're a professional football player, no matter what sport it is. It's the playoffs. If you've got to have your coach try to get you up for a game, get out of organized sports. Anthony Rober says, very well said. He also says these players are paid to perform, and yes, they are. So, but in today's, if it's not happening, what happens? Usually coordinators get fired, a head coach gets fired. Players are getting paid a lot of money. And he also says the players are paid to perform at the end of the day. Correct. If you're going to keep dropping passes, you're going to sit on the bench. You miss an extra point, you're on the bench. You fumble a couple times, you're on the bench. I don't care how much money you're making. Reported by Jamison Hensley, Espen, Ravens are looking to make a pact for Lamar Jackson by March. Look, Lamar got his wish. Harbaugh's gone. The owner, is it the owner or the GM? Owner. Mr. Biscotti said that he wants a new deal done by the start of free agency in March that would significantly lower the two-time NFL MVP $74.5 million cap. He said the urgency of that matters to me because we've got free agents and I don't want to go into free agency with that hanging over our head. Understandable. And I made that clear to Lamar, and I think he was very appreciative of my stance and hopefully willing to work with Eric DeCosta, which is the Ravens general manager, and not get this thing dragged out into April like the last time. It's very hard for him to build a roster when that thing is not settled. Again, but if the reports are true that, Lamar had special treatment and he showed up late to meetings or he would fall asleep, I don't care what kind of deal you have. If that's the case, you're not playing. Act like a professional. Be on time. Study film. Don't be up fucking gaming until 3 o'clock in the morning. Not saying all that was true. It's just what reported was true. More baseball news. The Arizona Diamondbacks have acquired Nolan Arenado in a trade with the Cardinals. Reported by Jeff Passan, Espen. Does it make Diamondbacks better? I guess. I don't know. When it comes to Major League Baseball anymore, there's so many deals done. There's so many people that move. I have no idea. None. Chloe Kim, as reported by the Associated Press, she said she's still good to go for the Olympics. She's got a labrum tear. She's a snowboarder. If it's a labrum tear, she won't wipe out. She doesn't wipe out. It's just like a labrum tear. I've had a labrum tear. If anything, it's just there's certain positions that you put your arm in. You're not able to do certain things. It just hurts. So, hopefully she'll be good to go. Again, coming up at 6:30, Phil Martelli, former St. Joseph's College men's college basketball coach. He'll be on with me. I'll go pick his brain. Again, I have not followed college basketball the way I should be. But with everything else going on, I will start, now that football's winding down, I will start following it extremely closely. Other NFL news, nothing that's really come up. Michael Kaepernick Jr., is it Papiernick or Papernick? I always fuck it up. He's like, yes, Petullo's gone, and now he needs to fire the glorified paid cheerleader Nick Sirianni, go hire a real head coach, and John Harbaugh or Mike Tomlin, who will bring a real offensive coordinator. Hey, Nick won you a Super Bowl. And look, when you win a Super Bowl, it's hard to repeat, and it's hard to get back. Losing Kellen Moore as your offensive coordinator was huge. But anytime a team wins a Super Bowl, other teams are going to come calling for a defensive coordinator, for an offensive coordinator. Look at what happened to Detroit. Ben Johnson gone. Aaron Glenn gone. Look what happened to Detroit this year. So be careful what you wish for, because sometimes the grass isn't always greener on the other side of the septic tank. What else? The Chargers have fired their offensive coordinator, Greg Roman, and offensive line coach, Mike Devlin, probably after that performance against the Patriots. I will say this about Justin Herbert. People give Justin Herbert a hard time. When have the Chargers ever put fantastic talent around the guy? Lad McConkey. He's a serviceable wide receiver. He's a good wide receiver. Quentin Johnson, as far as I was concerned, he got drafted. He had a couple of good games this year. He's been a bust. Now, Marion Hampton getting hurt didn't help in the running game, because I still think that kid's going to be a stud. They brought back Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen's what, 80? But what happens when you have abysmal offensive performances in a playoff game? You fire your coordinators and you fire your offensive line coach. Never mind that organization has not put fantastic talent around Justin Herbert. That's all I'm going to say. That's on that front. Let me go to the NBA. I went over the standings yesterday. Well, Anthony Davis, he's out months for hand surgery. A robust report, he says, you can't say it is just talent. Look at Niners out here stealing playoff games with very few talent. The talent that San Francisco has across the board is a lot better than what the Chargers have. I'll just put it to you that way. Especially offensively. Yes, they lost George Kittle, but across the board, offense and defense, they're better than what the Chargers are. Scores from yesterday in the association. The Jazz beat the Cavaliers 123-112. For the Jazz, your leading scorer was Mr. George with 32 points. Josef Nurkic, he had 17 boards. He is quietly having a real good year for the Jazz. For the Cavaliers, your leading scorer was Darius Garland with 23 points. The Pacers beat my Celtics 98-96. Leading scorer for the Celtics was Mr. Pritchard with 23 points. For the Pacers, your leading scorer was Pascal Siakam with, what did he have? 21 points. 76ers beat the Raptors 115-102. Leading scorer for the 76ers. Tyrese Maxey had 33 points. Leading scorer for the Raptors was Mr. Ingram. He had 17 points and 10 boards. Mavericks beat the Nets 113-105. For the Nets, your leading scorer was Michael Porter Jr., 28 points. He always seems to be the leading scorer for the Nets. And for the Mavericks, your leading scorer, Cooper Flagg, 27 points. Mr. Powell added 10 rebounds. Kings beat the Lakers in a rare win for the Kings. For the Lakers, leading scorer was, what do you think? Luka Doncic with 42 points. DeAndre Ayton added 13 boards. For the Kings, your leading scorer was DeMar DeRozan with 32 points. Clippers beat the Hornets 117-109. Yes, 117-109. Leading scorer for the Hornets, Mr. Ball with 25 points. Diabate added 15 boards. For the Clippers, leading scorer was Kawhi Leonard with 35 points. And a partridge in a pear tree. On tap tonight in the association, Suns at the Heat, Bulls at the Rockets, Timberwolves at the Bucks, Nuggets at the Pelicans, Spurs at the Thunder, Hawks at the Lakers, Trailblazers at the Warriors. The NHL scores from yesterday. Panthers beat the Sabres 4-3. Red Wings over the Hurricanes 4-3. Kraken over the Rangers 4-2. Lightning over the Flyers 5-1. Canadiens over the Canucks 6-3. Devils over the Wild 5-2. Oilers over the Blackhawks 4-1. Maple Leafs over the Avalanche 4-3. Stars beat the Kings 3-1. A good slate tonight in the NHL. The Canucks are at the Senators. The Lightning are at the Penguins. Canadiens at the Capitals, which should be a good one. Flames at the Blue Jackets. Red Wings at the Bruins should be another good one. Hurricanes at the Blues. Oilers at the Predators. Islanders at the Jets. Maple Leafs at the Mammoth. And the Stars at the Ducks, which should be another good one. Let me go over in the NFL what happened this past weekend again. I think I went over everything yesterday. So on Saturday, the Rams beat the Panthers. People kept telling me that the Rams were going to walk away with this. I didn't think so. Carolina had already beaten L.A. back in Week 13. Oh, it was Week 13. What does that mean? Anything can happen in said playoffs, ladies and gentlemen, on any given Saturday or Sunday. Matthew Stafford was 24 of 42, 304 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a pick. Los Angeles rushing 29 carries, 116 collectively. Puka Nacua, 10 catches, 111 yards, and a touchdown receiving. Cam Curl, Nate Landman, 10 total tackles. For the Panthers, Bryce Young, 21 of 40, 264 yards, touchdown, and a pick. Carolina couldn't run the ball, 22 carries, 83 yards collectively. Jalen Coker with a nice game, 9 catches, 134 yards. Christian Rosaboom and Nick Scott, 9 total tackles. Team stats. Rams won a turnover battle, won a rushing battle. Both teams were abysmal on third down. But look, the Rams just made one more play than the Panthers did. I thought there for a while the Panthers were going to pull it out. They did not. Yes, Mr. Robish, NFC West 3 out of 4 still in the playoffs is a crazy thought. I said I said before the season started that I thought San Francisco, LA, and Seattle would probably make the playoffs. And some people thought I was crazy, but here we are. And again, the Rams just made one more play than the Panthers did. That's all that boils down to it. And look, the Panthers have a nice nucleus going forward. I don't know what they're going to do at running back. Rico Dowdell came out and said that he wants a little bit more workload. But they have a nice little nucleus. Played well at the end of last year. I know they sort of faded at the end of the year. But if they can shore up some things, the rest of the NFC better be put on notice. And then if everybody watched the Packers and the Bears, I don't know what to tell you, Packer fans. I don't know why the floor is still there. You're up 21-3 at half. You should put the foot in the throat and finish it out. They got complacent. They couldn't run the ball. They couldn't do diddly shit in the second half. And the Bears, they've been doing it all year in the second half. All year long. They've been down in the second half. I can't tell you how many times. I mean, Jordan Love had a great 24-46. The problem was they couldn't run the ball in the second half. He was 24-46, 323 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks. Can't expect your quarterback to throw it 46 times and collectively run it 23 times for 99 yards and win the game. Romeo Doubs, 8 catches, 124 yards, and a touchdown. Edgerrin Cooper, 8 total tackles. For the Bears, Caleb Williams, same thing. 24-48, 2 touchdowns. He threw 2 picks. Chicago, again, 28 carries, 93 yards, but they were able to run the ball a little bit better in the second half. Colston Loveland, 8 catches, 137 yards. Jaquan Brisker, 9 total tackles. And team stats, I mean, Green Bay won the turnover battle. Rushing stats were even. The Bears were 10-19 on third down. They went for it on third down 19 times. Green Bay was 6 of 15. Chicago went for it on fourth down 6 times. I just thought in the second half, the Bears made the adjustments at the half. Green Bay didn't. And when Green Bay tried to run the football, they couldn't. And that's why they were not able to sustain drives. Chicago moving on, Green Bay at home. Then we get to Sunday. I picked the Jags over the Bills, by the way, and that was looking good there for a while. But the Bills pulled it out. Josh Allen was 28 of 35, 273, a touchdown, no picks. He ran for 2 touchdowns. Jacksonville with the number 1 rushing defense held Buffalo's rushing attack in check, 26 carries, 79 yards. Khalil Shakir turning into a very, very good receiver, 12 catches, 82 yards. Shaq Thompson, 8 total tackles. For the Jags, I thought the turnovers really hurt them. Trevor Lawrence, 18 of 30, 207 yards, 3 touchdowns, but he threw the 2 picks, which I thought were costly. I thought the game would really come down to if Jacksonville's defense could slow down a running game and they just took care of the football, they would win. Again, turnovers kill. Jacksonville ran the ball 23 times for 154 yards. Parker Washington, 7 catches, 107 yards receiving. Eric Murray, 7 total tackles. Again, team stats. Buffalo won the turnover battle. Jacksonville won the running battle. I figured they would be able to run the ball because Buffalo's run defense is not that good. But look, Buffalo made the play when they had to. Again, hopefully coming up here at 7:30, Coach Phil Martelli coming on. 49ers beat the Eagles. Again, I don't know what to tell Eagles fans. Your offensive coordinator is making a change. Brock Purdy was 18 to 31, 262, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. San Francisco running the football collectively 25 for 75. Demarcus Robinson came out of nowhere, 6 catches, 111 yards of a touchdown. McCaffrey had the 2 receiving touchdowns. Garrett Wallow, 11 total tackles. For the Eagles, Jalen Hurts was 20 of 35, a touchdown, no picks. Saquon, 26 carries, 106 yards. I would have given it to Saquon Barkley 40 times. That's just me. Devontae Smith, 8 catches, 70 yards. N'Kobe Dean, 8 total tackles. Or was that 8 total? 6. Dean, Davis, Bond, Blankenship, 6 total tackles apiece. Team stats: Philadelphia won the running battle, won the turnover battle, but somehow they lost. They were 5 of 16 on third down, 3 of 5. Look, again, San Francisco just made the plays when they needed to. So, and again, playoffs, January, I'm giving it to Barkley 40 times in the backfield. But that's just me. That's why I'm sitting here. Patriots beat the Chargers 16 to 3. It wasn't good. Game actually kind of sucked. Justin Herbert was 19 to 31, no touchdowns, no picks. He ran the ball 10 times for 57 yards. He was sacked 6 times. I'm not even going to go over the stats because I'll just go over the team stats. New England ran the ball for 146 yards. Chargers 87. Herbert was running for his life. Los Angeles, the Chargers are 1 of 10 on third down. 1 of 10. That's brutal. They are wasting Justin Herbert's talent. Chargers have no offensive line. I get it. They were beat up, but still, all in all, it was just an ugly, ugly performance on both teams' parts. So, again, the Patriots are moving on, and the Chargers are at home. I see him in the green room. I'm just going to bring him on now. Let's bring him on here. There he is, the coach, Phil Martelli. Coach, thanks for coming on.
I'm glad. Thank you for the invitation.
Yes, sir. I'm trying to get caught up on the college basketball as much as I can with football and like other stuff coming to an end. We are fast approaching March Madness, Coach. What should I be looking out for these next couple of months? Look, I looked at the team rankings or the the coaches poll, the AP poll. It doesn't really matter to me anymore about rankings, but I know you probably watched a bunch of college basketball. Who should I be looking out for in these next couple of months here?
Watch that youth will be served. This freshman class is absolutely astounding, and it's spread across the country. Obviously, Duke has a great one in Cameron Boozer, but BYU has a spectacular. Arizona has 2 of them, and Arizona may well be the best team in the country. Michigan being close behind, but the freshman class, Peterson kid at Kansas, if he can get healthy and he's a pleasure to watch. Brown at Louisville. This freshman class is loaded with really good players, and fortunately or unfortunately, depending upon how you look at it, a lot of them will be moving on after this 1 year, despite making really nice money in the NIL. Team-wise, Michigan and Arizona have moved ahead of the pack. There are some great stories out there. Nebraska being undefeated in basketball
Yep.
is an astounding story. Somewhat locally here, Seton Hall looks like Villanova will break the drought in Philadelphia for going to the NCAA tournament. They're very much in the mix. Um, and then there are some teams. Gonzaga just sits out there and just keeps rolling along, and they're a top 5 team. Uh, I like Arkansas,
Mm-hmm.
but the two that stick out the most are Arizona and Michigan.
Yeah, I was looking over the rankings again. You got Vandy still undefeated. I think the women are still undefeated too.
They are.
Uh, you're talking about Nebraska. I'm looking at top to bottom here. I'm looking at for Arizona still ranked 1. Iowa State's undefeated. I'm looking from 1 all the way down to BYU and Michigan. It is really wide open this year.
Yeah, I think that's an accurate statement, and I'm remiss in not mentioning Iowa State. I believe tonight or tomorrow night they play at Kansas, and Kansas is a little bit down, uh, but it's still Kansas at Kansas, and it's still the Big 12. So um,
Mm-hmm.
the the description of it being wide open is couldn't have been better stated, and those teams that you mentioned all the way down 10, 11, 12, um, any of them could end up being in that Final Four that last weekend in March.
You and I come from a different era. Obviously, I was a big man. I was a 6-foot big man in high school. I had to go up against the trees, so I love the big men. Look, every time out here come tournament time, defense and guard play.
Yes.
Does it still stand true?
Well, it's a little bit different guard play, I would say. Uh, the guard play now involves really all 5 players, so perimeter skills are a really, really, really big deal, and not just the prototypical point guard that you and I well know,
Yep.
or a shooting guard. If you're playing in today's game, I don't care what your size is, you have to be able to dribble, you have to be able to pass, and you have to be able to shoot. And I think that, and I get it, defense wins championship, blah 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 blah. But you have to score the ball. So I think as we watch this year evolve, the teams that are scoring the ball comfortably are teams that I would then consider to be real threats to win the whole thing. And it won't be because, well, they have a really good guard. The best point guard in America is Brandon Smith. He's
Mm-hmm.
6 foot. He plays at Purdue, and Purdue's in that list of possibilities of 10, 11, 12 schools that could do it. But what he does is he has so many assists because they score the ball, not just having a really good point guard, but having a team that scores the ball, I think, is going to be a separator in March.
What do I make of Houston? They came close last year. They're Look. I'm looking at the stats defensively. They're still stout defensively
Oh,
across the board. They lead. I mean, they're so athletic. What am I making of Houston this year? Going to make a run again?
well, sure, they're going to make a run because they're going to be tested in that uh, Big 12, which is the best conference. I just saw a stat today. The Big 12 against the top 50 teams in America is 62-2 this year, which is non-conference, which is astounding. And Houston does it the old school way. They play so, um, and I mean this in a respectful way. They play so violently. They play so fiercely. A lot of times today, we have some gymnasts playing basketball where they think they're going to get quality points for how they look.
Mm-hmm.
Houston does not care about that. What's interesting about Houston is that they're developing their depth, in that they had, maybe for the first time since uh, the Clyde Drexler years, They had some McDonald's All-Americans join their program, but it took them a while to understand how Houston plays. Now they are. They have two freshmen that are playing exceptional basketball for them, and they clearly hang their hat on straight up toughness.
Mm-hmm.
And toughness probably travels best in league on the road, but toughness also travels in the NCAA tournament because we have to remember everybody's on a neutral court. So you don't get that crowd lift, you don't get that noise of support, and you have to be able to have intestinal fortitude, 1 through 10 on your team to win on the road, win in the NCAA tournament.
Give me a sleeper that I should be watching out for the next couple of months heading into the tournament.
Wow.
Somebody that no one's really talking about.
Well, no one here would talk about Iowa State,
Mm-hmm.
but they truly have an opportunity, and I think even though it's a known name, and they've won championships recently, people are still like, they're good, but they're not national championship like they've had good. So I'm going to give you UConn.
Okay. Yeah, I mean they're ranked third. Like I said, I don't put any stock into the AP or coaches poll. A couple minutes here, and I'll let you go. Who's right now? Right now, if the tournament started today, who would you pick in the Final Four?
Wow. Michigan, Arizona. Michigan, Arizona. I gotta
That's tough.
dig a little bit. Michigan, Arizona. I'm gonna take Vanderbilt
Okay.
and Gonzaga.
Okay. See, I'm looking at Purdue maybe getting over the hump this year. Especially it's
Point guard play. You make a great
yep.
point.
Yeah. I'm looking at Purdue. Look, Nebraska would be a fantastic story. Vandy would be a fantastic story. I mean, I'm just looking at. I'm going down the list here. Illinois could be a sleeper.
Good point.
Look, North Carolina still has to prove it to me in the last couple of years. And who else am I looking at here? And maybe BYU.
They play a really up-tempo style, BYU, and their freshman is spectacular. North Carolina's freshman is spectacular.
That's the coach, Phil Martelli. Coach, thanks for joining. I will be picking your brain again.
You can count on it.
Right
Anytime
before
I get an invitation, count me in.
right before the tournament starts.
There we go.
I'm going to have a tournament selection special. I'm going to go through the bracket. I'm going to pick your brain. I will let you know when it will be. I always enjoy having you on, Coach.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation. Appreciate it.
All right, sir. Have a good night.
Bye now.
That's the coach, Phil Martelli. I was talking about the Chargers before. Mr. Robish said Herbert was no. That's not cool. That's not good. Not good. Where was I? Oh, let's get back to the final game, which probably solidified the Steelers. Mike Tomlin stepping away. The Texans just absolutely boat raced the Steelers. For the Texans, C.J. Stroud was 21 to 32, 250, a touchdown and a pick. Woody Marks, 19 carries, 112 yards. Christian Kirk, 8 catches, 144 yards and a touchdown. Jalen Pitre and Henry To'o, 7 total tackles apiece. For the Steelers, Aaron Rodgers was sacked 4 times. He was 17 to 33, 146, no touchdowns and a pick. Pittsburgh rushing 18 carries, 63 yards. That's it. I'm not even going to go rest of the stats for Pittsburgh because it was fugly. It was a turnover fest there for a while. Texans turned it over 3 times. Pittsburgh Steelers turned it over twice. Again, Texans win the rushing battle. The Steelers were 2 of 14 on third down. It was just an ass-kicking 30-6. So, the divisional round coming up on Saturday at 4:30 p.m. It's the Bills at the Broncos. Denver's favored by 1.5. It's only Tuesday. I will make my final picks on Thursday. Right now, if the game were being played today, that Broncos defense is tough. I just don't trust their offense. I'll go Bills 27, Broncos 24. 8 p.m., the 49ers are at the Seahawks. Seattle's favored by 7.5. The 49ers really are limping into this game. Seattle just beat them 10 days ago. Do I really want to trust Sam Darnold in the playoffs? And San Francisco just had a battle-tested game on the road. I'm still going to, as if the playoff game were to be played today, I would go Seahawks 24, 49ers 20. Then on Sunday at 3 p.m., the Texans are at the Patriots. New England's favored by 3. If the game were to be played today, I would go Texans. Patriots, a nice story this year. That defense on the road, it travels. I would go Texans 27, Patriots 17. And then at 6:30 p.m. on Sunday, the Rams are at the Bears. Rams are favored by 3.5. I don't know what the weather's going to be. It should be a back and forth game for me, but on the road, if it were to be played today, I would take the Rams in a close one, 28-23. But that's just me, Mr. Vegas. NCAA men's basketball. There were no top 25 teams in action yesterday. Today, there are a plethora. At 7 p.m., Indiana is at number 12, Michigan State. Number 16, Virginia at number 20, Louisville. Boston College at number 22, Clemson. Texas A&M at number 24, Tennessee. Number 3, UConn is at number 25, Seton Hall. It's a big one. West Virginia is at number 7, Houston. Number 2, Iowa State at Kansas. As Coach Martelli was saying, Oregon is at number 8, Nebraska. Number 18, Alabama at Mississippi State. Number 19, Florida is at Oklahoma. Let's give the women some love. Let me get to that. Top 25 action. Number 21, Alabama beat Missouri 74-63. Tonight, only one game. Houston at number 17, Texas Tech. Soccer this week. I believe that the Premier League picks back up this weekend. Yes. I was premature last week in saying that these games were played this past weekend, but no. Man United will host Man City. Chelsea hosts Brentford. Leeds hosts Fulham. Liverpool will host Burnley. Sunderland will host Crystal Palace. Tottenham hosts West Ham. Nottingham Forest will host Arsenal. That's on Saturday. On Sunday, Wolverhampton will host Newcastle and Aston Villa will host Everton. Then on Monday, Brighton hosts AFC Bournemouth. They will host Bournemouth. Again, looking for some updates. I don't see any. Golf. I had Mr. Harry Mays on yesterday. We talked about golf. I believe it's the Sony Open this weekend. Do I want to pick a winner in the golf tournament? It's too early to be picking winners because I have no clue. No idea. I've got to study it more. Again, I think I'm going to end it there. Again, for our NASCAR people, as I am, NASCAR has come out and said that they are restoring the 10-race chase championship format. You know how stupid this is? I said it yesterday. This is taking 50 steps backward. And I would plead with NASCAR, please, just go back to the old point system. You qualify. I don't even like qualifying the way it is. Have the cars run a couple laps. Qualify the old way. Wherever you qualify, that's where you start. And wherever you finish, those are the points you get. You don't get points for leading the lap. And get rid of the stages. You know what the stage racing used to be? Caution flags. They're going to lose more fans after this. It just makes no sense. Reported by the Associated Press, Tony Stewart is returning to NASCAR in a Ram truck debut in Daytona. So he's going to be racing the truck. Telling you, he's getting that itch again. So I'm going to end it there. Again, thanks for Coach Martelli for coming on. And again, the big thing in the news today, Mike Tomlin stepping down as the Steelers head coach. The coaching carousel continues to go round and round and round at the carnival. So I believe at 8 o'clock, check out my man Fuji on the Cole County Entertainment Network, Philly's Fuji Flair, who he's having on, I don't remember. I know I saw it. I don't want to shortchange it. Give me just a second. Of course, all the Eagles fans are ecstatic about the offensive coordinator change. Whoop. Whoop. I'm still looking. Oh, yes. Oh, no, it's Thursday. Thursday, Fuji's Philly Flair at 8 p.m. Angela Catone will be back on with Fuji. She's an entertainer, singer, suicide prevention activist. So he will rejoin her. I believe her and Mama Ringo and a couple others were on the show about 5 weeks ago, I think it was. So she will be back on. He will pick her brain about certain things. Fuji will also be on tomorrow. He will welcome community outdoor rink builder and proud owner of the Penalty Box at Philadelphia Flyers Steam Bar, which was featured on Fox 29 at NBC News, Philadelphia Inquirer story written by Earl Hopkins. So check that out as well. As I end each show, practice compassion, practice empathy, have passion for what you do. Every once in a while, hug somebody. You might make their day. Tell somebody you love them. You might not get an opportunity, a second opportunity. For God's sakes, if you see somebody struggling, no matter what the situation is, ask questions, inquire about how you might be able to get them help or how you can help them in any sort of way. You might not just be saving a life, you might be saving a multitude of lives. So with all that being said, enjoy tonight's action, whether it's NBA, NHL, whatever it is. enjoy it. There's only one thing left to do. It's for Danny Don to take me out.
Turn out the lights, the party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night, the party's over. And tomorrow and next year starts the same old thing again.